necessary to take your life and your business to the next level. I trust that you're ready for that. I know I'm ready for you to be ready for that. And for those of you who did not yet do so and you want to make sure you get a copy of the replay, there's a button right there on my website on the under the screen where you see me broadcasting in my golden classroom. There's a link for you to pay with PayPal for the replay. There's also a link for you to pay with your credit card if you've missed out on that opportunity for whatever reason. Maybe you missed one of the emails. But the broadcast is loading up, and we're going to get started in a few minutes. I just want to cover a couple of housekeeping things before we get started. And I believe that selling is the fastest way to take your life to the next level. It's the fastest way to grow your business. It's the fastest way to change your zip code, to live the life that previously you had only dreamed about. I'm just a regular guy, and I'm going to share a little bit of my story with you tonight and show you how you can take your life to the next level, just like I've done and just like so many of my students have done. So I want to congratulate you for being in the right place at the right time and taking advantage of this opportunity to learn how to sell your way to wealth. It is your turn. It is your turn to create the wealth that you deserve and desire. It is your turn for you to take your life to the next level. I know you're ready. And someone said they can't hear me. Make sure your computer is not on mute. Make sure your computer is not on mute. And you got to do that on your end. And make sure your computer's turned up and your speakers are working properly. And we are definitely a go. So a couple of housekeeping things. One, grab a pen and a piece of paper. Grab a pen and a piece of paper right now. You're going to want to take some notes, and you're going to want to write down. I learned a long time ago from one of my mentors from when I was younger. He said, Myron, in a book that he wrote, he actually said, his name was Charlie Tremendous Jones. And Mr. Jones said in his book, Life is Tremendous, he said, when you listen to a sermon or you go to a seminar or you read a book, if you really want to get something out of it, don't write down what they said. Write down what you thought of it as a result of what they said. Some people may ask, well, why don't you have notes? Well, because what I want you to get may not be what you need. And if I write down some notes, you may think that, well, I wrote down the notes that Myron gave me, so therefore that must be all I need. Well, I submit to you that the notes that you write down are going to be far more important than anything that I might think you need to write. And what I want you to do is I want you to understand that if you write down what you think of as a result of what I say, that's going to be far more valuable for you than if you write down just what I'm talking about. And I'm going to share some amazing stories with you tonight, but more importantly than that, I'm going to share some amazing selling strategies with you, because selling really is easy. And it's a whole lot easier than maybe you've been led to believe in the past. And so that's the first thing. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. Get ready to take some notes. In fact, you're going to want to grab several pieces of paper because I'm about to shock your socks off. The second thing I want to say is this. Turn your cell phone off. Put it on Do Not Disturb mode. Turn your cell phone off. Close any extra browsing windows. Don't check email. Don't check Facebook. Don't check anything else. While this broadcast is live, what you want to do is you want to focus on what we're talking about, because nothing else in your life right now that's going on is going to take your life to another level like what I'm about to share with you on this broadcast. So you are in the right place at the right time, and you want to make sure that you have yourself in a totally clear headspace, no interruptions, no multitasking, no phones, no Facebooking. The only thing you want to be focused on right now is what we're talking about, because what we're talking about is going to take your life to the next level. If that makes sense to you, type in, I got it. All right. Type in, I got it. Man, I'll tell you what, this thing is loading up fast. We had over 1,200 people register for this broadcast. Hopefully everybody will be able to make it on. And I know the technology is relatively new, but it's going to take your business to the next level. A couple other housekeeping items. For those of you who've never heard of me, my name is Myron Golden. That's MYRON GOLDEN, not Miriam Goldman, not Malcolm Goldman. It is Myron, MYRON GOLDEN. And I've been called everything in the book. And I'll share more with you on that later. So it's Myron Golden, and you're on my website. And also, I am the author of a couple of best-selling books. I'm the author of a book called From the Trash Man to the Cash Man. I may have it here in my briefcase. I'm the author of the international best-selling book, From the Trash Man to the Cash Man, How Anyone Can Get Rich Starting from Anywhere. And I don't have it with me, but that book is an international bestseller. If you're a Kindle reader, you can find it on Amazon. For those of you who are a part of a network marketing organization, I'm also the author of the 2 best-selling books, Make Lots of Money in MLM, and also Line Them Up and Sign Them Up, which are Kindle books. So if you want to get those, you can get those on Amazon's Kindle platform. I live in Tampa Bay, Florida right now, and I am cold. I am in Pennsylvania, and it's in the 40s outside. And the 40s where you are might be warm, but where I'm from, that is really cold. And the coldest day that I've seen all year, since January 3rd of this year, the coldest day that I've seen in Tampa, Florida, is 62 degrees, and that was a cold day. People were walking around like it was sure enough frigid outside. So I want to encourage you to not multitask, don't multitask. I see somebody else is saying stand by. If it's saying stand by, restart your browser. By the way, if you get bumped, restart your browser, and you will be able to take start the broadcast over. I had to do that earlier. So if you came on early, you need to restart your browser, and it should work. And I don't know if you can hear that or not, but that's the deal. So and maybe Peter, if you're on here, you can send out a broadcast to everybody to that effect. Let them know that they may need to restart their browser. All right. So cover those housekeeping things. Also, I want to tell you about one more thing, and that is I want you to come see me in Tampa Bay. I want you to come to my 1-year Millionaire Live event in Tampa, Florida. It is an absolutely off-the-charts event that can take your life to the next level. It is an event that is designed to teach you how to become a millionaire, and it's a 2-day intensive training that will take your life to the next level. So, and it happens actually at my training center, which is called The Next Level. It is a $1,297 event. The website for that, and don't want you to go get any of that right now. I just want you to be aware. 1yearmillionairelive.com is the website for that. Don't even worry about it right now, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. All right. Here we go. If you are taking notes, we are ready to get started teaching you about selling. If you're ready, and how many of you on the broadcast right now, how many of you really find selling a little bit of a challenge? Just type in I do. If you find selling to be challenging or difficult or maybe hard, or maybe you don't feel like selling is something that you're good at but you want to be good at, if you find selling difficult, type in I do. Okay, I'm going to wait for those broadcasts to come in. Now, here's what we're going to talk about. Selling, the first point, if you're taking notes, is this. Selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world. I'm going to say that again. Selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world. There is not another profession on the face of the earth that is more misunderstood than the profession of selling. And most people don't even understand that. And most people who are in sales don't understand that. Selling is misunderstood by those who do it. Selling is misunderstood by those who teach it. Selling is misunderstood by those who buy. Selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world. Most people mistakenly think that selling is talking people into buying something that they don't want, don't need, or can't afford. I'm going to say that again. Most people think that Selling is selling is talking people into buying something they don't want, don't need, or can't afford. That is not selling. Selling is not talking people into buying something. Selling is understanding how people really operate and understanding that they already want to buy. I don't have to talk anybody into it. And somebody asked if the session is being recorded, and the session is absolutely being recorded. And you can purchase the recording for $7 before the broadcast ends. If you wait until after the broadcast, it will be $21. So just click the link at the bottom of the right under my screen on my Golden Classroom, and you can purchase that for $7. All right, with PayPal or with your credit card. Selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world. Most people think of salespeople as being people who somehow or another take value out of the world. Very few professions in the world, add as much value to the world as the profession of selling. I want you to think about this. What do I mean when I say selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world? Well, selling is misunderstood because people think somehow or another that selling is taking something back. It's taking something away. But selling, very few things in this world add more value than the profession of selling, because selling gives you the opportunity to create more value in the world. Selling is not taking. Selling is adding value. What do I mean it's misunderstood? Well, I'm going to give you my definition of selling. I'm going to give you Myron Golden's definition of selling. Selling is not taking. It's not when you sell, you're not taking from people. I want to take something from somebody. No, selling adds value. Selling doesn't add value. Sometimes real and genuine selling always adds value. And that is what you need to do if you are actually a person who's involved in selling. You need to understand that you're not taking something from the world. And a lot of salespeople feel guilty about selling. They feel guilty about asking people to buy. They feel guilty about offering people their products. They feel guilty about making offers. I feel no such guilt. I recommend that you feel no such guilt. I recommend that you walk around with your head held high and your shoulders back and your chest out, feeling good about the fact that you're creating more value in the world. So I'm going to give you my definition of selling, and I'm going to give it to you several times. So what I want you to do is I want you to put your pen down, and I want you not to have anything in your hand, and I want you to put your hands together like this. Put your hands together like this, and I want you to understand my definition of selling. And here we go. My definition of selling is uncovering the value. See, it's covered. The value is covered. People can't see it. So the definition of selling is uncovering the value of what I have to offer so well that people are happy. Notice I smiled when I said that. That people are happy to exchange the money they have in their pocket for the value I've revealed. That's selling. Selling is uncovering the value of what I have to offer so well that people are happy to exchange the money they have in their pocket for the value I've revealed. Now, if somebody's not good at selling, that doesn't mean they're not good at talking. By the way, you don't have to be good at talking. You don't have to be a good talker to be a good salesperson. What you have to be good at is you have to be good at uncovering value. And selling is uncovering the value of what I have to offer so well that people are happy to exchange the money they have in their pocket for the value I've revealed. And see, the other thing you need to understand about selling is this. And I want you to hold your hands out like this. Everybody hold your hands out. Actually, hold them out like that. But make sure your palms are facing each other and hold your hands out like that. And I want you to repeat after me. And I'm going to give you the definition of selling so you can write it down again. So no worries. But here we go. You need to understand this. When the value is this big and the price is this big, they always buy. And the mistake most salespeople make is they think that the problem is the price. I'm going to tell you something. Price is never your problem. I was talking to one of my students a couple weeks ago. about a week and a half ago. And this is a guy who 6 years ago was on the cusp of bankruptcy, on the verge of losing everything. And I shared with him some selling strategies. And this was a guy who has an MBA in business. He's a smart guy, but he didn't understand selling. So I taught him some selling strategies. He applied those selling strategies to his business and went on in the last 6 years to build a business that does over $1 million a month in sales. And I was just talking to him a couple of days ago. He said, yeah, I'm thinking about buying an airplane before the end of the year because it'll save me some money on taxes. I want you to think about what I just said. He's thinking about buying an airplane because it'll save him some money on taxes. This is a guy who applied the strategies that I taught him on how to sell. Now, I'm sure you'd like, well, let me ask you the question. How many of you would like that to be your story? I mean, think about it. To go from the verge of bankruptcy and in 6 years contemplating an airplane purchase. Why do I talk about that? Because airplanes are not cheap. But see, it doesn't matter how much they cost. Because if the value of what he's getting is this big and the price is this big, the price doesn't matter. Even if the price is $300,000 or $500,000, it doesn't matter. Whatever price you can put in there, whatever price you can put in that little space right there, that's fine. It doesn't matter what the number is. So the mistake most salespeople make is when their sales aren't going the way they want to, they take an already low price and they make it lower because they think the price is too high. It's not the fact that the price is too high. It's the fact that they haven't uncovered enough value so their prospect can't see the value is that big. So when the value is that big and the price is that big, they always buy. So I'm going to give you the definition of selling again. Selling is uncovering the value of what you have to offer so well that people are happy. That people are happy to exchange the money they have in their pocket for the value I've revealed. Now, if you write it, you can write it in first person. I'll say it again so you can write it down because I know that you really want to wrap your mind around this. Selling is uncovering the value of what I have to offer so well that people are happy to exchange the money they have in their pocket for the value I've revealed. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. Very few professions in the world add as much value as selling. In fact, what I want you to do right now is I want you to take out some money. And I don't care how much money it is. It can be $1, it can be a $5 bill. So take out either a $5 bill or take out a credit card, or take out a credit card, or a $5 bill, or a $100 bill, or whatever. And I want you to hold it in your hand. Whatever it is, something that represents money. It can even be a check. I want you to take out something that represents money. And I want you to think about all of the things that you've paid for in the last 30 days with money. Whether that money be a $5 bill, or whether that money be a check, or whether it be a credit card, anything that represents money, I want you to look at it, and I want you to think about the fact that, number one, the only reason you ever, any of us on this broadcast right now, the only reason any of us ever have any money in our pocket to spend on anything that we want or to take care of the people we love, the only reason any of us ever have any money to spend on anything is because somebody, somewhere, sold something to someone for a profit. Let me say that again. The only reason any of us ever have any money in our pocket for anything, if you did some Christmas shopping this week, or maybe even today, or maybe you're doing some even tomorrow, the only reason you ever have money in your pocket is because somebody somewhere sold something to someone. You say, well, no, that's not true because I don't sell. I'm a secretary. The only reason your company has money to pay secretaries is because somebody in that company went out and sold some product to a customer, and that's why your company has money to pay you. You say, no. Well, I'm a truck driver. I don't sell anything. You may not. But the only reason you have anything to deliver in that truck is because somebody in your company went out and sold some products to someone. And the only reason any of us ever have any money to spend on anything is because somebody somewhere sold something to someone. And that's why you will be able to buy what you wanted to buy for your family, for your children, for your spouse, for your parents, the stuff that you were able to buy. That's why you were able to buy for Christmas what you wanted to buy for Christmas for other people, is because somebody somewhere sold something to someone. And because of that, that is why you have money in your pocket. Salespeople bring value into the world. I'm going to tell you something else. Most people don't understand this. America is the wealthiest country in the face of the earth. And what I mean by that is, I understand the money's fiat money. I get that. But America has created more and produced more goods and services and more wealth than any country on the face of the earth. And the fact is that even though America's produced more wealth than any other country in the world, 95% of Americans live and die broke. Now, I don't find that to be that shocking of a statistic when I also understand that because of the fact that selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world, because of that fact, most people hate to sell. And the reason people hate to sell is because selling is misunderstood. Most people hate to sell. Now, I'm about to really encourage you. I'm going to unlock. I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom right now. What I'm about to share with you is a total game changer. And that is that 95% of the people in this country are broke, but 95% of the people in this country hate to sell. Only 5% of us love to sell. Now, I want you to think about that. I want you to let that marinate for a minute. I want you to let it soak in. Because what that means is, for the 5% of us who love to sell, we have a marketplace of 95% of the people who only love to buy. See, selling has an alternative. That alternative is called buying. And we all love to buy. Everybody loves to buy. We love it. And the reason we love to buy is because we just love to buy it. It's great. It's a great feeling. Selling produces so much joy in the world. Think about how you felt the last time you bought a pair of shoes and you put them on and you're like, man, these shoes are so cool. Think about how you felt the last time you bought a new car, a new house. It fills you up with so much joy. Here's what I found out. People love to buy, but they hate to sell. And see, people who only love to buy cannot create wealth. People who love to buy and love to sell. No, we have the ability to create wealth. We are in the catbird seat. We are a unique group of individuals that can create the lifestyle that we deserve and desire because we love to sell. I want you to think about this. When you buy something, you're taking money out of your pocket and you're handing it over to somebody else. You're putting it in somebody else's pocket. But when you sell something, somebody else is handing you money and you're putting it in your pocket. I want you to get good at selling. Selling is the fastest way to take your income into the 6- and 7-figure range. Bill Gates is the wealthiest man in the world because he's one of the greatest salespeople who ever lived. Sam Walton was the wealthiest man in the world because he's one of the greatest salespeople who ever lived. Steve Jobs changed the world not because of his technological genius, but because of his selling genius. And if you want to walk with the greats, you've got to get great at selling. And believe it or not, it's really not that hard. But it is a skill, and it must be learned. And I should really say it must be relearned, because when you were born as a natural born salesperson, but I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world. That's the first thing I want you to understand. Number 2 thing I want you to understand is selling is the most profitable profession in the world. I want you to really think about that. Think about what you do for a living. Maybe you're a printer, and maybe you print things like tickets. You print tickets, or maybe you print checks, and you're a printer. I want to ask you a question. What do you think is the difference in income between the worst printer in the world and the best printer in the world? You think it may be $10,000 a year, $20,000 a year? Between the worst printer and the best printer, what do you think the difference in income is between the best and the worst in that profession? Well, I don't think the difference is going to be that big. If it's $10,000, I'd be shocked. What do you think is the difference between the best ophthalmologist in the world and the worst? They make glasses, or maybe they ophthalmologists. The doctors who check out your eyes. What do you think the difference is? Do you think it's that? I don't think it's that big of a difference. What do you think is the biggest? What do you think is the difference in income between the world's greatest truck driver and the world's worst truck driver? What do you think the difference is in income? Maybe $5,000 a year, $10,000 a year at the most. Janitors, secretaries, teachers, administrators. What do you think the difference is between the best in the world and the worst in the world? I submit to you that the difference in income between the best anything in the world and the worst anything in the world is so minute, it's not even funny until you step into the arena of selling. The difference between the best salesperson in the world and the worst salesperson in the world is billions of dollars. I'm going to say that again. The difference between the best salesperson in the world and the worst salesperson in the world is billions of dollars. The potential upside for people who are in the arena of selling is absolutely incredible. By the way, for those of you who are on this broadcast right now, and you stay on to the end, I've got a special gift for everyone who stays on. I've got a free video that I'm going to give you for every single solitary person who stays on to the end. And it's a really, really good video to start the new year with. So you got to stay on to the very last second. Stay on until Myron says bye-bye. Until Myron does his Carol Burnett routine. I'm so glad we've had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Okay, I'm done. But anyway, stay on until the very end, and I've got a free video for you, but you've got to stay on until the end. Just wanted to throw that out. Okay. So selling is the most misunderstood profession in the world, but it's the most profitable profession in the world. I think about how the fact that I grew up poor. I'm going to share just a little bit of my story. I hope you guys don't mind if I share a little bit of my story with you. I started I was born in Tampa, Florida. I was born May 14th, 1961. And I was born in a segregated hospital. The conditions of that hospital were so poor that I contracted polio before I was a year old. I've walked with a metal brace on my left leg my entire life. And I've got that brace on today. I've walked with a brace on my leg my entire life. And that brace has helped me walk. Well, I did well in school all the way through the third grade. And it went downhill from there. Fourth grade through 12th grade was a struggle. Fourth grade through the 10th grade twice, and the 11th and 12th grade was a struggle. I don't have a college degree, but one thing that I learned was I learned how to sell. If you want to create wealth for yourself and your family, you've got to get good at selling. Now I'm going to tell you something. When I first got started in the arena of selling, I was horrible. I was one of the worst salespeople in the world. I was horrible. Now, why was I so bad? Because I didn't understand a couple of things. I thought people wanted to buy things for the same reason I wanted to sell them, or for the same reason I wanted to buy them. And I had to later on find out that people buy for their own reasons, not for my reasons. And when people buy what they buy them for their own reasons. They do not buy them for my reasons. So I had to learn how to talk to people about their reasons and not mine. Do you understand that if you are talking to somebody, anytime you're talking to anyone, do you understand that while you're talking to them, there's something they want? Now, you don't know what it is. And that's why it's very important that you get good at asking questions. Questions are the answer in selling. People think that people who can talk good can sell. I totally disagree with that. People who talk too much are some of the worst salespeople in the world. They're always talking about their stuff. 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 And guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your stuff but you. You want to talk to people about something they care about? Talk to them about their stuff. Now you got an interested party. And when you show them how what you have helps them get what they want, that's when your life goes to another level. So you want to help them get what they want. And so selling is the most profitable profession in the world. But I'm going to tell you something else. This is really exciting. Everyone, including you were born a natural born salesperson. Every single solitary person on this broadcast right now, you are a natural born salesperson. Every person you've ever met is a natural born salesperson. Every person you will ever meet is a natural born salesperson. And so what you want to do is you want to learn how. You want to learn how to get back to the way you were when you were born. See, when you were born, you were naturally a salesperson. You knew how, when you were an infant, to get mom to change your diaper. You knew how to get mom or dad to feed you. You knew how to get somebody to pick you up. And you know what? You didn't care what their response was. Pick me up. Feed me. Change my diaper. Play with me. I want to go to bed. And we didn't care about what people thought about it. You see little kids in the store all the time. Mommy, I want to go to bed. I want that. I want that. I want that. I want that. That's not the best sales approach. But the little kids don't care about what people think about them when they're in their sales presentation. They just want what they want. And what you got to do is you got to get back to that place where you were when you were a little child and learn how to let the little child in you connect with the little child in your prospect. Think about it. When two little kids are on the playground, what do? They go and they talk to each other and they walk up and say, you want to play ball? You want to jump rope? You want to play jacks? You want to do whatever? And they just go up and start talking to each other. They're not worried about being, what's the word we use, rejected. Kids don't worry about rejection. Rejection is an adult fear. Rejection is an adult emotion. Children do not know anything about it. They have to learn that. And so you are a natural born salesperson. And if you will get back to that place in your life where you are naturally selling, constantly asking people to buy, not because you want to make a sale, but because you know they want to make a purchase. I'm going to tell you something to prove to you that people love to buy. And somebody said, well, yeah, people don't love to be sold. Well, no, people don't like to feel like they're being sold. They want to buy and they want to feel like it's their idea. That's really what it is. They want to buy and they want to feel like their purchase is their idea. Well, I'm all for it. Go ahead, buy, feel like it's your idea. In fact, allow me to help you feel like it's your idea. In fact, allow me to help you come up with the idea to buy from me. Because people love to buy. It makes them feel good. In fact, I sent out an email yesterday. You probably saw it if you opened the emails that you got from me. I sent out an email yesterday that talked about the fact that people are addicted to shopping. And there was a news story about it. But I already knew that. I know people love to buy. People are addicted to buying. And what you have to do is you have to be the person who's in front of them on transfer day. See, most people think about Friday as payday. Not payday, it's transfer day. They already know who they're going to transfer that money to, who they're going to spend that money with, what they're going to buy before they ever get paid. What you've got to do is you've got to position yourself as a wise choice for them when they get on transfer day, when they get their money. Because people are going to get paid. And I'm not talking about merchandising people. I'm not talking about looking at people with dollar signs. I'm talking about understanding that if you've got something valuable, you've got a moral obligation to sell it to as many people as possible. I really believe that one of the things that separates great salespeople from average salespeople is people who are great at selling really believe that they would do a disservice to their potential customers if they didn't sell them. I was teaching my Sunday class, and I asked my wife and my daughter on Sunday, I said, so let me ask you a question. What is your favorite biblical business principle? That was a question I asked them. And we all came up with different answers. And I said, my favorite business principle, biblical business principle is that if I have something good, I have a moral obligation to sell it to as many people as possible. And if you want something in life, the best way to get it is to sell what you have so you can buy what you want. Now, that is a principle that is all through the Bible. You may be a Bible believer, you may not, and it's okay. I'm not trying to get you to believe the Bible. I'm just saying that is a constant theme throughout the entire Bible. If I have something good, I have a moral obligation to sell it to as many people as possible. By the way, that is what the wealthiest and wisest man who ever lived said in Proverbs 11:26. For those of you who want to go look it up and you don't want to take my word for it, which I recommend, that is, he that withholdeth the corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. See, what you've got to learn to do is you've got to, first of all, you will never get good at selling just by learning how to say the right words. People say, well, what do I say when they say this? What do I say when they say that? What do I say when they say this? What about objections? I'm going to tell you something. I don't ever have to overcome objections. How would you like to never, ever, ever have to overcome objections? Wouldn't that be great? I'm going to tell you something. The way you don't have to overcome objections is by you answer them before they become objections. And I have a specific system in my presentation system. See, what you need to do is you need to learn a systematic way of selling. Most people can't sell because they think of selling as an event. Well, I'm going to talk to this person and they're going to buy this thing. And when they buy this thing, that's the event. No. Selling is not an event. Selling is a process. And you cannot get into the profits until you are willing to go through the process. What is the process? Well, the first step in the process is you've got to have the right mindset. You've got to have a selling mindset. You've got to have the kind of mindset that I was talking about, that selling is uncovering value. And I've got to get good at using my words to uncover the value of my wares. Okay, so selling is uncovering the value. So I've got to get good at communicating the value that I have to offer to my customers. That's first and foremost. Secondly, I've got to develop the mindset that if I've got something good, I've got a moral obligation to sell it to as many people as possible. See, that's a very different mindset than the mindset most people have. The other piece, and there's a lot of other pieces of the mindset puzzle. In fact, in my training course on Sell Your Way to Wealth, I've got 2 entire hours just on selling mindset. Because when you learn to think about selling the right way, the right words will automatically come to your mouth. When you learn how to think about selling the right way, or if you're writing, like you're typing a sales letter, when you learn to think about sales properly, then the right words will automatically come to you. Some of you are wondering, well, what do you mean think about sales properly? Okay, a couple things. One of the biggest challenges I see is that people, when they are selling or when they have something to sell, one of the biggest mistakes I see that amateurs make is they think of the marketplace. So they start thinking of the people they want to sell to. That's one of the biggest mistakes you will ever make, thinking of the marketplace. What you want to do is you want to think from the marketplace, not of the marketplace. Because when you think of the marketplace, that creates a little bit of an issue for you. But when you learn to think from the marketplace, now you're putting yourself in their shoes and you're figuring out by asking questions what they want so that you can help them get to where they want to get to. So, for instance, I'll give you a for instance. How many of you, right now on this broadcast, I want you to type an answer in the question box. How many of you on this broadcast right now, you want to become a six-figure income earner in 2014? Or a seven-figure income earner in 2014 to 2017. Just type, I would love to, if that's you. Because if you want to do that, the only way that can happen is through selling. And you're a natural-born salesperson. You were programmed not to like selling. I'm going to share with you a couple of selling stories. I remember when I first got started in the arena of selling. Back in 1985, I started selling insurance and investments through a direct sales network marketing company called A.L. Williams. And their motto was buy, term, and invest the difference. And I got started, and I want to show you something. I memorized the presentation, and you had to show your presentation to your managing partner, your upline, your regional vice president. And so I memorized the presentation. I did the presentation in front of my regional vice president. He said that my presentation was the best presentation he had ever seen. And with the best presentation my regional vice president had ever seen from a new rep, here's what happened. It took me a year and a half to earn my first paycheck. Why? Because selling is not about the words you say. It's about the feelings that you convey. I'm going to say that again. Selling is not about the words you say, but it's about the feelings that you convey. And if you want to get great at selling, what you've got to do is you've got to get great at conveying the feelings that cause people to want to buy. Because people always buy based on emotion, and they justify that emotional decision with logic. And what you've got to do is you've got to learn to sell. So you want to develop a selling mindset. You got to learn how to think about selling from a very different perspective. Stop trying to get in your prospect's pocket. Stop trying to get something from them and work to get something to them. Stop trying to get from them and start working to get something to them. And I've got a lot of questions coming in, and I'm going to answer those here shortly. So just hang steady, guys. Just hang steady. So the link to buy the recording of this presentation is at the bottom. I've got an entire course on how to sell your way to wealth, where I teach the selling mindset. I teach lead generation. You want to learn how to generate leads. I'm going to tell you something. Prospecting, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Prospecting is not a good use of your time. That's really a really politically correct way to say it. Prospecting is not a good use of your time. What you need to learn how to do is you need to learn how to generate leads. And that is when you learn how to generate leads, then you can when you learn how to generate leads, people will call you. And when they call you, that's a good thing. When they start chasing you down and saying, can I buy this? Can I buy that? That's a good thing. You want to become that person. So I teach you the selling mindset. I teach you sell your way to wealth mindset. That's 2 hours of training. Sell your way to wealth lead generation. That's another hour. Sell your way to wealth presentations. I'm going to tell you something. Most people who give presentations are absolutely horrible at it. And one of the things that I do, I teach people how to get everybody they present to buy. And you know how you do that? By only presenting to people who are going to buy. That's powerful. That will change the game for you. What you want to learn to do is you want to learn to wake up selling every day. Because that's how you get in profit mode. I want you to think of selling like breathing. I want you to think of selling like drinking water. Selling is like Mm-hmm. Selling is like hydrating your body. What do I mean by that? Well, if you think of money, if you think of spending money as exhaling, you think of spending money as perspiring or as eliminating, as sweating, as losing moisture through conversation. If you think of spending money as the depletion of your life force, like air and water, just by being alive, we lose air and water every day just by being alive. If you think of spending money that way, then and you think of selling as drinking water or inhaling, then that's a pretty good, accurate analogy. How do I come up with that? Well, here's how I come up with it. Because understand that every day of your life, you are spending money. In fact, when you wake up in the morning and you walk into your bathroom and brush your teeth, you're spending money as soon as you turn that water on. In fact, you're spending money as soon as you turn the light on. And then you come downstairs and you get in your car and you start your car, you're spending money. And you are a money spending machine. You are spending money from the time you open your eyes. In fact, you're spending money at night while you're sleeping because your heat's coming on and you've got your thermostat set at a certain temperature, or your air conditioning is coming on if you live in Florida like I do. But you're spending money while you sleep. And you're spending money all day long. If you don't get to the point where you're great at selling, you will struggle financially for the rest of your life. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but the fact is, until you get good at selling, you are going to be a victim of money spending because you will always spend more money than you make. The only way to get ahead of that curve is by getting good at selling. So if everybody's a natural born salesperson, if you're a natural born salesperson, then why do you not like to sell? Because you were programmed not to like to sell. You were programmed not to like to sell. I was programmed not to like to sell. And it started in elementary school. You might remember you went to school, you had these cookies that you made, or maybe some candy that you bought from, Kmart or whatever. And you took it to school and you were selling it to other kids, and all of a sudden the teacher took it. They took the candy and the money. They said, you can't solicit at school. And so they talk about no soliciting, like it's a fatal disease or like it's something illegal. Oh, no soliciting. No soliciting. Oh, I can't ask people to buy. Okay. So we were programmed not to like to sell. But not only that, did you know that salespeople and business owners on television, on movies and TV shows, kill more people, commit more murders than any other profession? By the time the average person in America who's 18 years old graduates from high school, they're 18 years old. By the time they graduate from high school, they will have seen more than 10,000 murders on television or movies. 10,000 murders on television or movies. Well, that's not that big of a deal. You're thinking they've seen more than that. That's right, they've seen more than that. They've seen 10,000 murders on television and in movies by salespeople and business owners. No wonder nobody wants to be in business. No wonder nobody wants to get good at selling. No wonder nobody wants to talk about selling, because we are programmed on a subconscious level not to like to sell. Selling is a natural born gift that we're all given when we're born, but we get it programmed out of us. And then selling is also a skill. And you want to learn the skill of selling. You want to get good at it. You want to get good at selling, because when you get good at selling, it will change your life for the rest of your life. Selling can change your zip code. I remember the first time we went to Hawaii. I took my family to Hawaii for a month. And we were going to come back when we were tired of Hawaii. We were not in Hawaii. And when we were leaving, we were thinking, man, I wish we could stay here a little bit longer. We were thinking, man, I am so ready to get back home to my own bed. When we went to Hawaii, we were there for a month. I'm going to tell you something. You never want to go to Hawaii for less than 10 days. But you'll never get to Hawaii for a month until you get good at selling. Because that is not a cheap vacation. But It doesn't have to be. It doesn't matter. Money is just what you create by being alive when you're a salesperson because you've got skills. You've got mindset skills. You've got lead generation skills. You've got presentation skills. You've got closing skills. How would you like to learn how to close the sale and ask for the money without asking for the money? How cool would that be? I mean, that's like one of the coolest skills of all time. How would you like to sell people your products and have them thank you for giving you the opportunity to buy it? Whoa, I'm talking about selling. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach some of you. I'm not going to teach all of you. I'm going to teach some of you how to become great salespeople. I've got students right now who are in their 20s who are making multiple six figures a year selling. In their 20s. Why? Because selling is a skill. And when you learn the skill of selling, it can change your life for the rest of your life. I said earlier that selling is a process. It is not an event. When you learn the selling process, here's what you have to do. Selling is like putting together a puzzle. You ever put a puzzle together? You don't just dump the box out and it's all put together. You have to put the pieces in place. Selling is like a puzzle. And what you do is you put the different pieces in place, and all of a sudden when you get done, a sale. Well, that's what happens when you put the pieces together. You make a sale. I want you to stop thinking, though, of selling as being this thing that you do. Selling is a process that you go through. It is a process that you go through. And when you go through the process makes the sale for you. That's what I call the art of selling without selling. What is the art of selling without selling? The art of selling without selling is getting people into the sales process and letting the sale make itself, letting the process of selling do the selling for you. It's a really simple process, and I'm going to teach it to some of you because I created a course called Sell Your Way to Wealth. It's 5 hours of audio, 5 hours of training on selling that will change your life for the rest of your life. You are going to learn things about selling that you had no idea about. And here's what's really cool. For those of you who get it, when you get it, I'm going to have a special Q&A call 2 weeks in a row so that you can go out and implement these strategies, starting the new year off right with me as your sales coach. Now, let me tell you why this is powerful. Because 1 hour of coaching with me, 1 hour of coaching with me is $2,000. And I don't mind. You can hire me for $2,000 an hour, or you can get 5 hours of coaching, which if I did it one-on-one with you, it would cost you $10,000. And it's not uncommon for my clients to pay me $10,000 or $25,000 or $50,000. And I'm not bragging. That's not my point. My point is I want to get you to the point where your clients are paying you those kinds of figures. So you want to get good at selling. I've also got some bonuses. I'm not done with the training, but I figured I want to share this with you because what I want to do is I want to give some of you the opportunity. Wow, yeah, I could do that. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. For the first 100 people on this broadcast right now who take advantage of Sell Your Way to Wealth. And by the way, I could sell Your Way to Wealth for $1,000. In fact, if I go in and I do this as a corporate training for a corporation, they're going to pay me $25,000 to $30,000 to come in and do this training for their people in one day. So that's what they would charge. That's what they would pay me. The course itself retails for $500. That's what the course sells for. It sells for $500. That's $100 for each hour of the training. It's $500 regularly. But I'm going to give you guys a discount tonight because we have so many people on this broadcast right now. So here's what we're going to do. I've got the Sell Your Way to Wealth audio course. It's going to be delivered to you digitally. I've got the Fastest Way to Your First Million video. I've got, and by the way, stay on to the end. I've got a free gift for everybody, even if you don't buy the Sell Your Way to Millions or Sell Your Way to Wealth program. So you're gonna get the 5 hours of audio on Sell Your Way to Wealth. You're gonna get Why Network Marketers Are Broke. You're gonna get the Fastest Way to Your First Million video, and you're gonna get me teaching a principle that I've never heard anybody else share, and it's called Automatic Success Principles. When I teach you the Automatic Success Principles, it's going to take your life to another level. And all you have to do to get it is click on Special Offer at the top, right beside where it says My Golden Classroom on my website. Click on Special Offer. Just click on the word. You don't need to scroll down anything. Just click on the word. It'll open up in a different browser. I'm going to let you get this entire course plus the bonuses And I'm going to throw in 2 of my $1,297 tickets to my 1 Year Millionaire Live in Tampa, Florida. I'm going to throw in 2 tickets. Everything else is delivered digitally. I'm going to mail these to you. And you want to order it before the end of this broadcast. Do it before the end of this broadcast. In fact, if you place your order, even if it's more than 100, because we got hundreds of people on this broadcast, not quite 1,000, but hundreds and hundreds of people. I want you to do, when you place your order, I'm going to give you 2 $1,297 tickets. By the way, if you want to go check it out, you can go to 1 Year Millionaire Live right now, 1yearmillionairelive.com. These tickets are $1,297 on that website. I'm going to give you 2 tickets absolutely free when you get this course for $197. When you get it for $197, you're going to get all of the things I just named, plus you're going to get these 2 tickets.